Stop wasting your energy chasing someone who's running away. What if I told you the moment you stop, everything changes? You have the power to flip the script, make them notice you, and draw them back without begging. Listen closely, this will change the game forever, absolutely. Here's an in-depth 500-word explanation of the first keynote. Flip the script without headings. Stop chasing what's running away. That's the simple, yet profound truth that most people refuse to face. When someone is avoidant, it's natural to want to pursue them, to reach out, to prove your worth. But here's the reality, the more you chase, the more they pull back. Chasing creates pressure, and pressure creates distance. It's a dynamic rooted in human psychology. Avoidants are wired to feel overwhelmed or trapped when someone pushes too hard, even if deep down they care. The key to changing this pattern lies not in more effort toward them, but in reclaiming your own energy and focus. The moment you stop running after them, you begin to flip the script. Instead of being the pursuer, you become the one with power, the one with clarity, self-respect, and boundaries. This shift is subtle but magnetic. It's not about playing games or being manipulative. It's about understanding the dynamics of connection and human desire. When you stop chasing, you're no longer reacting to their behavior, and that alone makes you more appealing. Energy is contagious. When you're anxious, needy, or desperate, it transmits subtly but unmistakably. Conversely, when you're calm, confident, and centered, it radiates, creating curiosity and intrigue. Avoidants are naturally drawn to that sense of security, independence, and self-possession that you embody when you stop overextending yourself. Reclaiming your energy also means focusing on yourself, your passions, goals, friendships, and personal growth. The avoidant doesn't have to be the center of your world. By investing in yourself, you demonstrate that your life is full and meaningful, independent of their actions. This independence is magnetic. It flips the old story where you're chasing someone to fill a void and replaces it with a narrative where you are complete on your own, and anyone else is drawn to your energy rather than your desperation. Communication plays a part too. When you do engage with an avoidant, it's important to do so from a place of clarity and calm. Avoid pleading, over-explaining, or trying to control outcomes. Instead, speak your truth with confidence and let your actions reflect that self-assurance. This combination of emotional independence, self-respect, and subtle magnetism often causes avoidants to reconsider, to step back into connection naturally. It may take time, but patience is part of the power. Flipping the script isn't a quick trick. It's a lifestyle shift that centers on self-mastery rather than manipulation. Ultimately, the principle is simple. The more you reclaim your energy, the less you chase, and the more they are drawn to you. The power is always in the hands of the one who knows their worth and refuses to compromise it. This is the essence of flipping the script. Stepping out of reactive patterns and stepping into deliberate magnetic presence. If you want, I can also expand all 5 keynotes into full 500-word explanations each, so you'll have a complete speech-ready guide in Mel Robbins' motivational style. Do you want me to do that? Here's a detailed 500-word explanation of the second keynote as Stop the Chase without headings. The more you chase someone who is avoidant, the more they retreat. This is a pattern that repeats over and over in relationships with avoidant individuals, and it can leave you feeling frustrated, exhausted, and doubting your own worth. Most people think that persistence is the answer, that if they just try harder, call more, or show more affection, they can make the avoidant partner stay or come back. But this approach rarely works because it misunderstands the nature of avoidance. Avoidant people are wired to protect themselves from feeling trapped or overwhelmed. When someone pushes too hard, it triggers a subconscious alarm, causing them to pull away even if they have feelings for you. The key to reversing this pattern is not in more effort or chasing. It's in stepping back and creating space. Stopping the chase doesn't mean you stop caring or that you ignore your own feelings. It means you stop trying to control their reactions or force them into the relationship on your terms. This shift requires courage because it feels counterintuitive. You've been conditioned to believe that love equals persistence, that effort equals success. But with an avoidant partner, the dynamic is different. The more you chase, the more the avoidant will feel the need to escape, and the pattern continues. Instead, by stepping back, you give them room to feel curiosity, longing, and even a sense of loss. Space creates contrast. When someone is always available, always chasing, they become predictable, and that predictability diminishes desire. When you stop chasing, you introduce uncertainty, not in a manipulative way, but in a natural way that allows them to recognize your value and the reality that your attention isn't limitless. Stopping the chase also puts you back in control of your own life. You're no longer living reactively, waiting for their messages or trying to interpret their moods. Instead, you focus on your own goals, your passions, and your growth. This independence is powerful because it demonstrates self-respect and emotional strength. Avoidants are naturally drawn to confidence and autonomy. When they see that you're thriving without them, it challenges their perception of the relationship. This doesn't guarantee they will come back, but it creates the optimal conditions for connection without desperation. Communication, when necessary, should be calm, clear, and non-needy. Avoid pleading, over-explaining, or attempting to justify yourself. Your words and actions should reflect that you are centered, confident, and at peace with whatever outcome unfolds. Stopping the chase is not about playing games or punishing someone. It's about reclaiming your power, setting boundaries, and demonstrating that your self-worth does not depend on someone else's approval. Over time, this approach often shifts the dynamic naturally. The avoidant may start to step closer on their own, drawn by your steadiness, your confidence, and the sense of balance you've created. The power in stopping the chase lies in letting go of control while remaining fully present, fully confident, and fully yourself. It is both liberating and magnetic. If you want, I can also do the third keynote in 500 words next so we can continue building a full speech series. Do you want me to proceed? Here's a detailed 500-word explanation of the third keynote, the command attention. Without headings. You can't make someone want you, but you can create the conditions that make them notice what they're missing. This is the essence of commanding attention with an avoidant partner. Many people believe that love is about proving themselves, showing constant affection, going out of their way, or chasing validation. But with an avoidant, these behaviors often have the opposite effect. When someone is avoidant, they instinctively pull away from intensity, pressure, or dependency. Their brains perceive too much pursuit as a threat to their autonomy. The key is to shift your focus from trying to get their attention to cultivating a presence that naturally draws them in. Commanding attention is less about doing something to them and more about being someone who radiates confidence, self-respect, and authenticity. This begins with your energy. People are deeply sensitive to emotional energy, whether they realize it or not. Neediness, desperation, and constant seeking broadcast insecurity. Conversely, calm confidence, joy, and self-possession signal strength. When you embody this energy, avoidants are naturally intrigued because it's the opposite of what they're used to experiencing in a relationship with you. Another critical element is boundaries. Avoidants respect and respond to individuals who maintain healthy boundaries because boundaries signal that you are whole on your own and not defined by their presence or approval. This is magnetic because it flips the usual dynamic. Instead of you chasing them, they now have to choose to approach you on their own terms. Commanding attention also involves being fully engaged in your own life. Pursue your passions, nurture friendships, and grow personally and professionally. The more fulfilled and vibrant you are independently, the more they notice the contrast between your energy and their distance. This is a subtle, almost invisible magnetism that draws them toward you naturally. Communication plays a role as well. When you interact, speak from a place of clarity and authenticity. Avoid over-explaining, begging, or trying to manipulate feelings. Your words should reflect your inner strength, making them feel the pull of your presence rather than the push of your desperation. Timing matters too. Commanding attention is not about constant interaction or chasing after responses. It's about showing up when it counts and being absent when you're absent when energy isn't reciprocated. This balance creates curiosity and emotional tension, which are key drivers for avoidance to take notice. Ultimately, commanding attention is about embodying self-mastery. It's not a strategy to make someone love you. It's a way to show up as your most magnetic self, independent of their behavior. When you do this consistently, avoidants often begin to shift their perspective. They start recognizing what they may have overlooked: the strength, stability, and authenticity in you that they are drawn to but cannot fully articulate. By mastering your presence, energy, and boundaries, you create an environment where connection happens naturally, and the avoidant partner is more likely to approach you on their own. The power of commanding attention lies in becoming someone worth noticing without ever needing to demand it. If you want, I can continue with the Keynote 4 and 500 words next to keep building the full motivational speech series. Here's a detailed 500-word explanation of the fourth keynote, Own Your Power Without Headings. It's easy to feel powerless when someone you care about pulls away. But the truth is, your power has never been dependent on them. Owning your power means recognizing that your worth, confidence, and emotional stability are your responsibility, not theirs. Many people fall into the trap of trying to control an avoidant partner's feelings or actions. They hope that if they try harder, give more, or prove their love, the avoidant will come closer. But this approach almost always backfires. Avoidants respond to pressure by retreating, so chasing only reinforces the distance. True power comes from stepping into yourself fully, standing firm in your boundaries, and refusing to compromise your self-respect. This is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about creating a magnetic presence rooted in confidence and authenticity. When you own your power, you no longer allow someone else's behavior to dictate your emotions. You no longer bend, plead, or overextend yourself to gain validation. Instead, you operate from a place of clarity, self-possession, and inner strength. This shift is transformative because avoidants are naturally drawn to people who are whole and complete on their own. When you demonstrate that your life is fulfilling and vibrant independently of their actions, it creates a sense of intrigue and admiration. Part of owning your power is understanding that connection cannot be forced. You cannot make someone stay or come back through effort alone. What you can control is your energy, your choices, and your focus. By prioritizing yourself, your goals, your passions, and your growth, you cultivate a presence that is magnetic rather than needy. Boundaries are a key component of power. Saying no when something doesn't serve you, taking space when needed, and refusing to tolerate emotional games shows that you respect yourself. This sends a subtle, powerful message. You are not here to be manipulated or controlled. Avoidants notice and respond to this kind of stability because it contrasts sharply with the uncertainty and dependence they often encounter. Communication also reflects your power. Speak your truth calmly and assertively without over-explaining or begging for attention. Let your words reflect confidence and emotional maturity, which reinforces your magnetic presence. Patience is another vital element. Owning your power doesn't always produce instant results. Sometimes, it requires stepping back and allowing the avoidant to process their feelings while you remain centered in your strength. The beauty of this approach is that it works whether they return or not. You are no longer defined by their actions, and that independence itself is profoundly liberating. Ultimately, owning your power transforms not just your relationship with the avoidant, but your relationship with yourself. It shifts the dynamic from one of desperation and imbalance to one of respect, magnetism, and authentic attraction. By mastering your energy, your boundaries, and your self-worth, you create an environment where connection happens naturally without compromising who you are. The power to influence the relationship always comes from the one who stands firm in their value and refuses to settle for less than they deserve. If you want, I can now explain Keynote 5 in 500 words to complete the full series of all 5 keynotes for your speech. Here's a detailed and 500-word explanation of the 5th keynote. It's the game changer without headings. Forget everything you think you know about love and chasing. The real game changer in relationships with avoidance is not about persistence, pleading, or trying to prove your worth. It's about shifting the dynamic completely. Many people believe that if they just try harder, show more affection, or constantly reach out, they can make someone come back. But with an avoidant partner, this approach usually pushes them further away. Avoidants are wired to protect their independence and personal space. When they feel pressured, even subtly, they instinctively retreat. The game changer is realizing that the power lies not in chasing, but in creating space and demonstrating self-sufficiency. This is a subtle but profound shift when you stop running after them. You stop giving away your emotional power. Instead of being the one who is constantly reacting, you step into a position of calm control. This doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you stop allowing their behavior to dictate your emotions or your actions. One of the most critical elements of this shift is focusing on your own life. When you invest time in your passions, goals, and personal growth, you become magnetic. Avoidants notice energy, confidence, and fulfillment that exist independently of them. This kind of presence creates natural curiosity and attraction. It flips the old script. You are no longer chasing someone who may not be ready or capable of commitment. Instead, you are living fully, and your energy itself becomes the pull that draws them closer. Communication is also part of the game changer. When you do interact, speak clearly, confidently, and without desperation. Avoid trying to justify yourself, over-explaining, or begging for their attention. Let your words reflect your self-possession and emotional stability. This demonstrates strength, which is inherently attractive to avoidants, who are drawn to individuals who are whole and independent. Timing plays a role as well. The game changer often involves patience, knowing when to step back, when to be present, and when to let the avoidant initiate contact. This balance creates an emotional tension that is powerful in reshaping the dynamic. Another key aspect is understanding that your worth is not contingent on their return. The game changer is a mindset. Your happiness, confidence, and self-respect are non-negotiable. You are not defined by their decisions or their willingness to engage. This mindset shift frees you from anxiety and desperation, which in turn makes you more attractive. The avoidant may begin to step closer naturally, drawn by the sense of balance and independence you radiate. Even if they don't, you remain empowered and fulfilled, which is the ultimate victory. In essence, the game changer is about reclaiming your power, creating space, and demonstrating self-sufficiency. It flips the relationship dynamic from one of chase and pressure to one of magnetism and choice. This approach transforms not only how the avoidant perceives you, but how you perceive yourself, creating a foundation for healthier, more balanced connections in the future. If you want, I can now combine all 5 keynotes into a complete motivational speech script, fully polished in the Mel Robbins powerful style, ready for recording or posting. This would make a cohesive 13-minute speech. Do you want me to do that next? Here's that powerful Mel Robbins style ending for your speech that ties all 5 keynotes together and leaves the audience motivated. Quite remember, the power has always been in your hands. Stop chasing what's running away. Flip the script, own your energy, and focus on your life. When you stop trying to control someone else, you reclaim control over yourself. Boundaries, confidence, and self-respect aren't just words, they're your magnet. The avoidant may come back or they may not, but it no longer matters because you are no longer defined by their choices. You are whole, complete, and unstoppable on your own. Today, make the decision to step into your power, live fully, and let the universe bring what belongs to you naturally. The game has changed, and now it's your turn to win. But if you want, I can also craft a 2-3 sentence, ultra punchy call to closer, perfect for a video thumbnail, or last 10 seconds of the speech to make it viral ready. Do you want me to do that?